Hello dear ones, today we are going to learn Standing Up For Yourself, Unit 4. So what is written? Let's learn the text and understand. I went into the training with parallel bars and weights. I tried to lift up the parallel bars as well as the weights. Then what happened? After every session, I would feel, what would I feel after every session? Please tell me, my dear students. I was feeling that my muscles, they were getting bigger but slowly. My muscles were getting bigger in size, but they are getting bigger slowly, not so fast. But I was happy because my muscles were growing. They may grow slowly, but they were growing. Then I remembered something I had read in a book about a miraculous Japanese method of wrestling which gave an advantage to the weak over the strong. But I suddenly remembered that I had learned something about a Japanese art of wrestling which can make you able to fight with others within some period of time. You don't have to work too hard, but you can capture that knowledge within small period of time and you can fight with others and knock them down. I exchanged a week's ration card for a textbook on Jyotish. I tried to learn that Jyotish fighting of wrestling by sharing my ration card. I gave somebody my ration card and bought my book of Jyotish and I tried to learn Jyotish from that book. Jyotish, what is Jyotish? Jyotish is a wrestling practice or wrestling art used by Japanese to fight with others. For 3 weeks I stayed at home. For how many weeks I stayed at home? I stayed at home only for 3 weeks. Practicing with 2 other boys. And 2 other boys joined me to practice that Jyotish wrestling. So I practiced with 2 friends the Jyotish game. And when I became able to fight with others, when I became skilled, I came forward. Then I went out. After 2 weeks of practice, I went out to fight with others. Red was sitting on a lawn in our yard, in our front yard. He was sitting in a lawn. Lawn means meadow. Playing Bingtetun. Bingtetun. He was playing Bingtetun game. With his lieutenants, with his friends, he was playing Bingtetun. And when I saw him, what happened? Let's discuss. He was absorbed in the game. He was so absorbed in the game that he couldn't notice that I am going there. He was completely, deeply absorbed in that game. He was more in that game with full of interest. He was playing. He was not paying attention to anybody else who were coming to him. Fear was still deep in me, urging me to go back. Still I had that fear, and that fear was telling me to go back in my inner conscience. But I thought, no, I have come inside, I'll fight, I may die, but I will never return back. But I went up to the players and kicked and scattered the cards. And I went up to the boys, the lieutenants of Mr. That boy, and I wanted to kick them and spread the cards. I scattered the cards here and there. Then what happened? Let's run. Red looked up, surprised at me by importance after my recent flight. I had just taken the flight some days before. But when I returned back to fight with him, he was really surprised how this person could get that courage to fight with me once again. I had beaten him mercilessly in the last time, but how could he return back? And he was surprised, he was wondered by my sudden visit. I got up slowly. Then, "You are looking for more?" he asked menacingly. With raised eyes, he asked me, and he got up. "Do you want again to be beaten? Huh? You have come once again to get punished. Why? Why did you come here? Once again, you want to be beaten. You want to be punished. That's why you have come. You are looking for another time beating hard." As before, his hand dived into his pocket. Once again, his hand went quickly into its pocket. for the buckle duster, and he put out the buckle duster. But I made jabbing movement, and I quickly went to him. And Raid, howling with pain, at the time he was howling with pain, rolled on the ground. He rolled on the ground once, twice, or 3 times. Bewildered, he got up and came me swagging his head furiously from side to side, just like a maddened bull. He became a maddened bull when he got up. After rolling once and more, he just got up and came towards me, swinging his head just like the maddened bull to fight with me. I caught his wrist and squeezed it slowly. I caught his wrist and squeezed it slowly. Then what happened? As I had read in the book, until the knuckle duster dropped from his limp fingers, from his wounded fingers, the knuckle duster knocked down. After that, I stopped pressing its wrist as per the instructions of the book. Nursing his hand, Red fell down once again. Smearing his hand with pain, he fell down once again. He was sobbing and smearing. He was crying and smearing the tears on his face, over his pock-marked face with the grubby fist. His face was dirty. With that dirty fist, he was crying and smearing his tears on his pock-marked face. That day, Red ceased to be the monarch of her street. From that day, he didn't thought that he is the king of our street. He stopped that kind of profession and that kind of bad impression of trying to cheat others, trying to take money from others. And from that day on, I knew for certain that one need to fear not the strong. And from that day, I came to understand a lesson that one should not fear the stronger ones. Rather, one should keep the courage within itself to fight with the persons who are stronger than him. All one needs to know the way to beat them. One shouldn't fear the stronger ones, but they should know and try to find out the way how to fight with them and to beat them, to defeat them. For every strong man, there is a special jyotistu. There is a trick for every strong man. There is a special trick to fight with others, to beat them down, because one is not stronger in each of the fields. In some points, in some fields, he or she is weak. If we can find out the weak points and we try to fight with them, knowing their weak point, we can knock them down, we can beat them, we can defeat them very easily. What I so learned on the occasion was that to be a poet, I had not only to write the poems, but to know how to stand up for them. And from that day, I came to know, just being a poet, we should not write the poems. Along with that, we should have that courage to fight with them physically. And we need to train ourselves in such a way that we can fight with all the situations, with all the people who try to beat us down, who try to defeat us, who are to create fear among us. So I think you might have understood this topic very clearly. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please click on the like button and share this video along with your friends so that they can understand this chapter very easily. Thank you once again.